Hello everyone, this is Asghar Nazir. Today we will discuss about logical operators. What are they, why we need them, and how they can help us write better code. Logical operators are just another set of symbols that we use to combine boolean conditions, just like the arithmetic operators or the relational operators. These are the logical operators that we will be discussing. The first one is the NOT operator, then we will discuss about the logical OR operator, and then we will discuss about the logical AND operator. And the reason we should be using these operators is they help us reduce the number of if-else conditions that we have to write. Sometimes they can also reduce the complexity of code and the readability of code is increased. So now let's do some demos and let's understand how these logical operators work. The first one is the logical NOT operator, and it's a little different not because it's a logical operator, it's also different because it's a unitary operator. So normally whenever we have to apply an operator, we usually require two numbers. For example, if we talk about the arithmetic operator add, we require two numbers and then that operator takes those two numbers and then it gives us the results. For example, if we have an integer sum, so here I am providing two numbers and then this arithmetic operator and then an equal to sign, and then I am storing the results in a variable called sum. So if I run this code, these two numbers will be added together and I will see the results inside the sum variable. But the logical NOT operator is a little different than these other operators that we have learned. This logical operator does not require two numbers or two entities. It only requires one boolean value to be applied. For example, if I have a boolean true that I am printing on the console, I see this true. And if I apply a NOT operator to this, check this out, I only have one value and then I am applying this NOT operator here which will reverse this condition. So I get a false here. So this is how the logical NOT operator works. Whatever value we give, and the value must be a boolean type, either a true or a false, it takes that condition and it changes it to the other value. If we pass the true, it will change it to a false. If we pass a false, it will change it to a true. So for example, if I try it with the false, if I say NOT of false, it will give us a true value here. So this is how it works. And we can also store obviously these values inside the variables first. So for example, if I have a boolean and then rich variable in which I am storing some kind of value, I can obviously apply this operator to these variables as well. So I can say NOT of rich, and if I have a true inside it, this condition here, it will give me a false value. So I get a false here. One question that students ask many times is why we should be using the NOT operator. Can't we write all the if-else conditions with the help of straightforward boolean true or false values? Yes, we can do that, but sometimes if we use the logical NOT operator, it really simplifies the logic. For example, let's say USA does not want the residents from a certain country. Let's say the name of the country is bad country, right? Just an example. So now instead of saying if the country is equal to maybe China, and then a country is equal to Russia, or a country is equal to Spain or Italy or any other country, and then saying okay, these countries are allowed, what we can do, instead of combining this knowledge, okay, how many countries exist, and then putting together all those countries and then saying okay, these are the countries from where I want to allow the visitors, what we can do, we can simply use the NOT condition here. We can say NOT, and then we can say if the country is equal to the bad country, then I don't want to allow the visitors, otherwise anyone from anywhere can visit the USA, right? So I can say if the country is not the bad country, you are more than welcome, right? And now let's say if I am running, so right now I don't see this output because the country is a bad country. Let's say if the country is China. Now I can run this code and I will get the results that you are more than welcome. I can test this with any other country now, right? So instead of first getting the list and then writing an if condition, we can really simplify the logic if we use a not operator. And this not operator here, it is signifying that if a country is equal to a bad country, if the name of the country is bad country, then don't allow it, otherwise any other country is fine. So that's how we will be using the not operators to simplify the logic. Now let me show you an example for the logical OR operator. And this is how the logical OR operator works. If I am applying the logical OR operator, and if both the values that I am applying the logical operator to, if both of them they are true, I get a true as the result. If one of them is false, it's still fine. As long as one is true, the end result will be true. But if both of the values are false, then I will be getting a false value. So this is how the logical OR operator works. First, I can only apply the logical OR operator to Boolean values, true or false values. And second, this is how we will get the results. If two conditions, if two Boolean values, if both of them they are true, the result will be true. One is true, still true. As long as there is one true, the results will be true. For example, I can put more conditions here. I can put more false and more trues, but it will not matter, because as long as there is one value that is true, the end result will be a true. So let me run this and let me show it to you. So for the first value we get true, for the second value we get true, because there is still a true. Even if I make this false, I will still get it true because one condition is true. So as long as one condition is true, we get the overall result as a true. But if all the conditions become false, then the end result will be a false. So now I see all of the values as false. So now let me show you a real life example that will help you understand better how we should be using these logical OR operators. So here is the example. Here I have three variables. One is called bought flowers, the other one is called bought chocolates, and the last one is called bought jewelry. And they contain some true and false values right now. They are all of type Boolean, because we are learning about the logical operators and they only work with Boolean conditions. So now what I can do, I can combine these conditions with the help of OR operator, and I can create a program which will tell me if my wife will be happy or not. If I am bringing her flowers or chocolates or jewelry, if I bring any of these things when I'm back home, then she will be happy. But if I'm not bringing any of this, I'm coming home empty hand, then she will be sad. So if I run this condition, and here this line number 14, it's just an explanation. I am putting the condition first. So I can also do this. I can put this condition directly here like this. The only reason I'm not doing it, so that you can actually see that what was the overall result when this code was executed. So first I have stored these conditions here in the form of a Boolean variable, and I'm calling it condition, and then I am printing out that condition. So let me run this, and wife is happy. Why? Because there is still one true value inside this condition. This bought flower was false, this bought chocolates was also false, but this bought jewelry was true. So that's why I see wife is happy. So if all of them are true, still the wife will be happy. So I still see wife is happy. But the moment I make all of them false, I bring nothing home, then it will be the wife will be sad. So now the wife is sad because all the conditions are false. So let me show you another example. Let's say I'm writing a program which tells if I can browse the internet or not. Or let's say I am opening a browser inside my mobile phone, and the browser displays, okay, internet is available or it is not available. So if I have a connection from the Wi-Fi, if the Boolean Wi-Fi is true, or if the Boolean 5G is true, as long as one of them is true, my program should work and it should allow the user to browse the internet. So I say Wi-Fi or 5G. If any of them is available, I can still go and visit websites on the internet, right? We are good, we can browse the internet. But if neither the Wi-Fi is available nor the 5G is available, then it will be a problem for me, right? I will not be able to browse the internet because both of these internet sources, they are not available. So I don't see any output. As long as the 5G is available or the Wi-Fi is available, I am good and I can start browsing the internet. So we are good, we can browse the internet. So this is how logical OR operator works. As long as one condition is true, you are checking multiple conditions, and as long as one source or one condition is true and you want to perform an operation, you can use the logical OR operator and you can perform that operation. You can combine multiple conditions, you can check multiple things, and you can allow the user to perform a certain operation. And it's a very common scenario. We use a lot of the time, we use the OR and the AND conditions in our program. Now let me show you the example of the logical AND operator. This is the symbol that we use for the logical AND operator, and it is called logical AND. And this is how it works. This logical AND, it's kind of an opposite of the logical OR operator. This logical AND operator says, if you want the overall value to be true, all the values inside that condition, they must be true. All of them, they are true, we get it true. But the moment we get even a single false, this logical AND operator, it will return us the value false. It will only give you a true overall value if all the conditions are true. The moment a condition is false, we will get a false value. So now let me show you an example. So here I am writing a very simple program which checks the scores in different subjects, and based on those scores it tells if a student is brilliant or not. Here I have a math variable which contains the value 94, another which contains the value 93, another one which contains the value 80. And I have written this program in such a way that it should only say the student is brilliant if in all the subjects the scores are greater than 90. And we are using a logical AND operator here. The reason we are using a logical AND operator, we want to make sure that student indeed gets 90 plus scores in all the subjects, and then only we say the student is brilliant. So because right now the history subject has less than 90 marks, if we try to run this program, we will get you need to work hard, because this condition history one, it's a false. And just to show you, let me print out these conditions. So if I put this condition history is greater than 90, this is the condition which is making this overall condition return false. Let me print out this complete one as well. So if I run this, you see I get a false, because the history greater than 90 is a false, because the marks are 80, which is a false condition. And because of this one condition, the overall condition is being evaluated to false, and that's why we get a false here. And we know when we get a false inside the if condition, it executes the else block. So if the student improves the score in the history as well, and let's say he gets 93 scores, then all the conditions will return true, and this time we will say the student is a brilliant student. So true, and then student is a brilliant student. So that's how we use the logical AND operators in our real life examples. So whenever you want to make sure that everything is perfectly fine, and then only you want to execute some piece of code, you should be going with the logical AND operator. I hope you liked this video. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye, and don't forget to subscribe my channel.